Yo, what is up, guys? We are back, and today we have a little bit of a different kind of video today. We're gonna be talking about the Nintendo Switch dock right here. Now, as you can see, I have bought another dock. Now, this isn't really news. I actually bought this about 2 months ago. And I bought this because I was going on vacation and I wanted a dock to take with me on vacation. And during my vacation, I noticed that if you're traveling around with a standard dock, let me just get this out of here. Bam! If you're traveling around with a standard dock, this thing is pretty big. Like, it's pretty big, it's very oddly shaped, it's really easy if you're traveling around for this to get pushed forward and potentially break. Um, I wanted to look into alternatives for this particular setup here. And, there's tons of smaller third-party docks out there. And the problem with these third-party docks is that pretty much all of them are guaranteed to break your Switch either immediately or over an extended period of time. You're always at risk when you're using a third-party dock, so I highly do not recommend using them, which is why I have this that came in the mail today. Now, if you're wondering what this is, let me just open this up here. This is a third-party dock. Now that's interesting. It actually has different branding than the company I ordered this from. It says Marion on the packaging, but I ordered this from Basstop. They must be the same company or a subsidiary company. I just hope it's the right color, because there's a specific color that I ordered. But anyway, this is a third-party dock, and you can already see if the entire dock is in here, this thing is fucking tiny. Now you're probably wondering, wait, aren't third-party docks bad? Won't they break your Switch? The short answer to that is yes. So you're probably wondering, why did I get a third-party dock? Well, see, the thing with this third-party dock, and yes, it is red, I'm seeing it here, is that this is actually just a case. There's no actual internals anywhere in here. Now, the reasoning for that is because we will actually be taking the internals out of the official dock and putting them into this. So this will be my travel case, little dock here. I do want to clarify before we get started that this video is not intended to be a tutorial. I have never done this before. If you want a tutorial on how to do this, I will find one from what I consider to be a reputable source, and I will leave a link to that video in the description. But I'm going into this completely blind. I haven't seen any tutorials on how to do this. So this is pretty much the experience an average person is going to have doing this. And the only real reason I'm filming this is just because I was planning on doing this anyway, and I actually spent a lot of money for this to happen. So I might as well make a video out of it. Hopefully somebody enjoys it. Who knows, maybe I'll end up fucking something up and it'll be entertaining. Okay, so I have no clue what this is. What is this? This is a flathead screwdriver. The package description said it came with 3 screwdrivers, but or 2 screwdrivers, but it looks like it comes with 3. Okay, so this one here is a tri-wing screwdriver, which is Nintendo's proprietary screw. They've been using tri-wings I believe since the GameCube, maybe even before the GameCube, but it's their proprietary screw. So I'm actually glad that it includes that. I assumed that it did. I'm glad that it does because I don't have one of those offhand. And then here we have a Phillips screwdriver, which for those of y'all who aren't as adept with screwdrivers and tools, Phillips is the one that has like a plus head on there. A lot of people who aren't familiar with tools, they just call it a plus, but it's officially called a Phillips head. And then we have this tool, which is really interesting because it's actually two screwdrivers. You have a flathead and a Phillips. I wonder why they threw that in, because the description said that it only came with two screwdrivers, which I assumed would be a tri-wing and a Phillips like these here. But I guess technically it comes with four, and this one's on a keychain. So this would actually be really good just to have in general. And it has like little caps to cover them up so you don't accidentally like stab yourself with them if they're on your keychain. This is really nice actually. I was not expecting this to be part of the packaging. And then of course we have some screws in this bag and what looks like to be an adhesive strip. I'm guessing because it's a smooth bottom, the adhesive strip is probably to stick it to your countertop so it doesn't wobble. I'm not going to be doing that because this is my travel dock, so I'm going to be bringing this places. But other than that, everything here seems to be pretty much what I was expecting. There are no instructions in the box. Hold on a sec. Okay, so it looks like there's a QR code on the back of the box that you can scan for a video instruction. I'm not going to do that because I am stubborn and I'm the kind of person that's like, I don't need instructions. I'll just figure it out as I go. So we'll see how that ends up going for me, but I do like the design of this. And it even has like on the front here, it says Super Switch, and then it has like its own little logo. That's kind of cool. I like that. It's the Super Switch, guys. All the leaks we've been getting about a Pro Switch, a Switch Pro. Here it is. I got it early. It's the Super Switch. Nah, if that were the case, the Nintendo ninjas would be after me. So it looks like, let's see. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, this is the tri-wing. I'm going to go ahead and get these screws out of here. It is important to note that if any of you are going to attempt this, that keep in mind this will void your warranty. So I don't recommend doing this unless you're like 100% confident that you're not going to fuck anything up. Or if you have money to be able to replace it, should you fuck something up. Or if, in my case, you have another dock anyway, so it's not a huge deal if you fuck something up. Also, if you're going to be doing this, I recommend wearing one of these. Let's see, where's my camera? This is an anti-static wrist strap. Highly recommended to wear anytime you are dealing with bare electronics that you don't want to fuck up. Because believe it or not, even just like, you know, whenever you're like walking around on the carpet with socks on or something, and then you go to touch like a door handle and it shocks you, that's a little bit of static electricity that's built up from the friction between your socks and the carpet. Same thing if you take a balloon and you rub it in your hair, and then your hair starts to stand up when you raise the balloon. Same concept there. But even static electricity, which isn't really that potent at all, can be enough to damage electronics, which is why a lot of stuff, especially if you're ordering like really expensive computer parts online, like I do every now and then. They come in anti-static bags, so that even in shipping, they don't get damaged from static. So if you're going to be doing this, I recommend picking one of these up if you don't have one already. You just strap it to your wrist, and then you clip the other end to a piece of your clothing that you're wearing. And theoretically, it'll prevent any static buildup while you're working on this. Now, you can pick these up at. I got mine from Best Buy for like $7. You can probably get them online for cheaper. I haven't even checked Amazon to see how much they are on there. But yeah, I don't recommend doing this unless you're willing to void your warranty for whatever reason. Uh, and I highly recommend that you have some sort of anti-static device. And obviously, it goes without saying, do not do this if the dock is plugged in. I feel like that shouldn't really need to be said, but yeah, don't do this if the dock is plugged in, because then you're at a high likelihood of damaging something. Um, if you shocked yourself on it, it probably wouldn't kill you, because it'd only be 110. It probably converts it to 12 volts. So like, it probably wouldn't kill you if you got shocked on it, but it definitely would not be fun. And also you have to keep in mind that let's see, there we go. You have to keep in mind that if it's powered on, there's a chance you end up crossing a connection somewhere. So that would be the real thing to worry about if you did this while it was plugged in. Alright, so it looks like this whole bit just kind of raises up now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so yeah, not really anything to see here. This is just a plastic little shell. And then here is where all the magic happens. So this is actually the entire board that does all of the functions that the switch dock does. And then, of course, you have the ribbon cable here, which I'm not going to touch directly with the screwdriver because there's a chance you could damage it, that I would assume goes to the USB-C connector. I don't know what else that would go to, so I assume that goes to USB-C. So that's probably why they include the flathead for getting this ribbon cable out. So very carefully, I just want to... Ooh, hold on. Before I do that, it looks like the board is actually moving. So I guess the only thing that really keeps the board in place is the screws that keep this on, or maybe the pressure. Maybe it's pressure mounted. No, it looks like there are screws that go through. So it's the screws that go through this, and then looks like some plastic clips on the side. I'm not going to take the plastic clips out yet, and I'm just going to go ahead and pop this by hand, if I can, because I don't want to risk damaging that. There we go. Okay, so I released the ribbon cable there, so the ribbon cable should just pop out when I go to pull this board out. So now I want to push these clips back and raise the board. There we go. And the ribbon cable should just kind of pull out. You want to be very careful with these ribbon cables. There we go. Okay, so that's released. And it looks like there's another cable on the back. Yeah, here we go. That must be... What would that be for? Oh, that must be the LED indicator on the front of the dock. That's what that is. Okay, and there we go. So this is everything that runs the switch dock. This is the entire operation here, guys. Yeah, and then you also have, of course, the ribbon cable going to the USB-C connector. which goes in here. So what this entire board does is it takes that USB-C into this connector here, and then it converts it into HDMI out. And then it also allows for USB 2.0, USB 3.0, and the power in to power the board. So this actually is a pretty complex little board they got going on here. And to all the people who have the flashing green light on your dock and your dock just won't work, I don't have any evidence to back this up, but the theory right now for that is some of the docks are getting really hot and blowing like one of these capacitors, preventing the board from working. Because as you can see here, there really is no cooling for any of this. There's no real heat sinks here. I mean, there's some guards on these here, but not really. There's no real heat sinks here. And there's no air cooling, there's no fan, there's no passive cooling at all. So the idea is this board, in some cases, is getting really hot and blowing one of these capacitors or something. And that's what's causing the switch docks to, like, permanently stop working. Because there is another problem that the switch dock has. I'm just going to set this aside for a moment. There's another problem the switch dock has, but that one I actually know how to fix, and I've done videos on how to fix that problem. But it would seem the switch dock has an overheating problem. Alright, so I'm going to continue to take this out. We're using the Phillips head now, because it looks like once you get in here, they just have Phillips heads, because they're like, if someone's made it this far, you know, they clearly have a tri-wing screwdriver. So let's just make it that much more of a pain in the ass and start using a different screwdriver, so they have to have two. Alright, so, here we go. Okay, I was looking for more screws because I didn't see any, but some of these are recessed in these little holes here. There's actually a lot of screws that keep this thing together. It's almost like a big sandwich. It seems to be like 3 big pieces that are all just kind of sandwiched together by all these screws. I can feel it starting to get loose on the other side here as I release these. Now, I do recommend, if you're going to do this, that any of these screws you're taking out and the pieces of the dock itself, I would keep those. I'm going to be keeping mine. I'm just going to put it back in the actual box that the dock came in. All the parts that I'm going to have left over. In case I ever want to put it back together for some reason. Or in the event that my current dock that I use for my recording rig gets the case damaged or something, I'll have another case lying around. When it comes to stuff like this, there really is no reason to throw any of this out, because you never know down the line if you're ever going to need any of this stuff. At least that's my idea of that kind of stuff. I always keep a backlog of all different stuff here in case I ever need any of it. Alright, so I think I got all the screws. There might be one more. I'm going to see. Let's see. Alright, so a few fell out when I tipped it upside down. It looks like there might be... Alright, I think there's one more. Like I said, I haven't watched a tutorial on how to do this, so I'm just... This is me going in completely blind. I'm pretty confident I can do this without breaking anything, because I have lots of experience with electronics. Alright, there's still something holding it here, so I'm gonna have to look around and... there it is. It was hiding behind the ribbon cable. There's one here. I think this should be the last one. There's one hiding behind the ribbon cable there. Alright, so that one came out. Alright, let's see if we can pull this apart now. And yes, that seems to be the last thing holding it. So We want to make sure not to damage this ribbon cable, so I'm going to push that through. There we go. Okay, so now we're down to just the USB-C connector, and it looks like that cable was, in fact, the LED indicator light. So, we're not going to be bringing the indicator light over, because there's no place to put it on here. That is one downside of this mod here, is that there's no indicator light on this dock that we're going to be building. But that's not really something that's necessary, I don't think. Alright, and for those of y'all who aren't aware, I already knew this, but the USB-C is spring-loaded to prevent it from being damaged. Which again, this does not have the spring-loaded mechanism in here, I don't think. Or we're not going to be able to bring the spring-loaded mechanism over. So there are some downsides to doing this mod. But so long as you're careful with it, you really shouldn't need any of that stuff. So long as you're not abusing your hardware, then all that stuff shouldn't really be necessary. And again, I want to try to save as much of this stuff as I can. Hopefully all of it, because you never know if I'm ever going to need any of this stuff. Like, what if the spring-loaded mechanism in my current dock fails and I need to replace it? Then, not that I expect that to happen, but in the event that it did, I'd have another one just lying around here. You know, so I do want to save some of this stuff we're not going to be using in case I ever need it later. You do want to be very careful with these ribbon cables. Ribbon cables aren't necessarily known for their durability. There we go. So that just kind of pops out. And I'm going to try to save as much of this stuff as I can. I believe all I really need here is the USB-C itself. I don't think I need any of this hardware for this mod. So how does... Let's see, how does this come out? Hold on. Let's see, do I have to push it down and... Huh. Alright, I'm actually not sure how this piece comes out. Or does this go in here? Let's see. Ooh, that's a tight fit, actually, for this USB-C here. I believe this has to come off, but I don't see how it comes off. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's how it comes off. I had to take this off, and there's two little screws underneath that hold it on. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. There's a little cover there that covers the screws that hold this on. Alright, so it looks like that's why they give you this, because I think this is a smaller Phillips head. So maybe that's why they include this. Hold on. Does this not fit? Or it might be because... No, this Phillips head is really small. I don't think the screwdriver they included fits it. Oh, nope, I think I got it. It's just really hard because the entire unit is moving because it's on a spring. Never mind, this does fit. Just barely, though. Like, they really should have included a screwdriver. It seems like this screwdriver I'm using and the other Phillips they included are the same size, so I don't know why they would do that. It does seem like they made some strange decisions when deciding what to include with all this. Yeah, these are going to be really tough to get out. Try using this. These really don't want to come out. Because they're slightly smaller than the Phillips heads that are included. And I need to be really careful not to damage any of this. Because this is how the dock interfaces with the Switch itself. So if I damage this, I'm in trouble. Really, if I damage any of it, I'm in trouble, but especially this. Although this would probably be the easiest part to replace if I were to damage it. But we still don't want to do that. Alright, maybe try using this flathead and see if I can... No. Yeah, this is really tough. I don't know why they didn't give me a smaller screwdriver for these. Alright, this is gonna take a little minute here while I figure this out. I might have to go grab some tools. I don't know if I have any screwdrivers smaller than these, though. I mean, I started getting one of these out, but it's because the whole unit, if you look here, when I go to put pressure on the screw, the whole unit's on a spring, so the whole unit kind of springs back, which doesn't really give me a whole lot to work with when I'm trying to remove the screws out of it. Because you have to put pressure on the screw. Maybe if I hold this down with my hands, there we go. There we go. Okay, we're getting there. That one was a little stubborn. I'm hoping the other one will be a bit easier. Hopefully. I need to be really careful not to damage any of this. Because this is the part where I could potentially damage something if I'm not careful. If my hand slips and ends up bending that USB-C connector, that would be really bad. Or if I ended up damaging the ribbon cable. I could actually take the ribbon cable off, because there's another connector here. I'm not going to do that, though, because we're pretty much done with this. I just need to get this last screw out, and then we can actually start building the dock. There we go. Okay. It's almost there. Man, they really got these in here. I find it funny that they start using Phillips heads, like, halfway through the construction for this. Like, oh yeah, we have 6 tri-wing screws in this, and after that, it's like everything else is Phillips. Like, either do all tri-wing, or, like, just don't do any. Like, what's the point of splitting it into 2 different screws? Maybe tri-wing screws are more expensive to produce or something? I don't know, but there we go. Okay, so that took a little longer than I thought it was going to, but it is out. It doesn't look like we damaged anything. So, now I'm just gonna go ahead and set all these pieces of the dock aside for now. We'll go ahead and set these aside as well. These screws, I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of sweep those over. Let's see. And I will find a place to put those when I'm done with this video. I'll probably put them in this little bag, because there's not going to be anything in this bag when I'm done. So I'll probably just put them in here. Okay, so now we have that done, we have all of the components of the dock here that we need. The rest of the dock components we don't need for this. So far, so good. I don't think I've damaged anything yet. So now, I need to work on getting this in here. So it looks like this just kind of drops down in there, like that. And I screw that in. Yeah, I can go ahead and screw this in. And then I have to put the ribbon cable on and screw the USB-C connector. It seemed like the fit for the USB-C connector was really tight, though. If I... Yeah, that is, like, scary tight. I hope I don't end up breaking it trying to push it through there, because that is... Let's see. Let's see here. That is a really tight connection. Okay, there we go. It's in. I didn't bend it or anything, so it should be fine. That is a really tight fit there. When they said when they said precision cut, like they were not joking, because that was that. I honestly thought I was gonna break it trying to shove it through there, but nope, we're good. Okay, so I guess I can go ahead and put this ribbon cable back in, since we're already here. The ribbon cable is going to be a little awkward to maneuver here, just because it's used to facing a specific way, and now it has to face a different way. So I have to kind of like make it face a different way now. I guess I could take the board out, clip it on, and then put the board in so that it's already in place. That would probably be better. Let's see, so we slide this ribbon cable in here. Let's see. I just need to make sure that all of the contacts are, well, making contact, because that is what you want your contacts to do. Alright, I believe that it's slightly crooked, but it's probably fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to recenter that, because I want it to, I don't want to have to take this whole thing apart a second time, because the ribbon connector isn't seated properly. Alright, that looks good to me. Hopefully that's fine. And now, I just have to position this in here, like this. And that ribbon cable is just kind of all over the place now. I'm actually kind of concerned about this ribbon cable, because if it's pressed up against all these contacts, it might short something out. Alright, well that's there. So I guess I can start screwing this stuff in, and hopefully it's fine. I'm gonna start with the USB-C connector, because I don't want to shift that around and end up breaking it, so I'm gonna start with that. Again, I haven't looked up a tutorial on how to do this, so I'm going in blind here. Alright, so first screw is in. A second screw is in, which means that the connectors are in fact connected. Alright. And it looks like for this, they want you to use, I'm assuming, these smaller screws just to hold the board in, and then the bigger screws to go through the entire unit, it looks like. Again, I don't know, because I haven't watched a tutorial. But just based on what I'm seeing, that's what it looks like. Oh, nope, that screw did not go in at all. Okay. That's interesting. Alright, maybe try one of the bigger screws for that then. Because it looks like... Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so I guess they just give you extras of the smaller screws, because I don't see anywhere else you would need to use those. Now, when you're doing this, it's important that you don't tie them down too tight, because you don't want to crack or bend the board. It's very important that you don't crack or bend the board. Alright, and I'm just gonna pop one in here. It looks like there's other places I can tie it down as well, but I'm just gonna put these two in, and then the four that hold the case together, and that should be more than enough to secure all this. It looks like there's a few more places I could put screws, but you don't want to overdo it with this kind of stuff, because if there's too much pressure on the board, you could end up cracking it. So those two are in. I'm going to try to push this ribbon cable down. I'm just hoping the ribbon cable doesn't end up shorting anything out on the board. I don't think it will, because it should be laminated. So it should be fine. And there we go. So now this is all one unit. I just have to drop these screws in here, which it looks like two of these screws will go through the board and the other two will not. So I have 4 screws total going through the board to hold it in place. And then 2 screws to hold the USB-C connector in place. And then 4 screws just to hold this entire unit together. But it looks like we are just about done. So now comes the big question. Did I break anything? Or is it working properly? Alright, we are done. It has been built. I actually really like the way it looks. So let me grab my switch. Alright, so here's my switch. I have, let's see. Let me grab my power supply for my switch. And let me grab an HDMI. And we will see if, in fact, it works. So you have to give me a second here, because I should have 2 switch power supplies. I only have 1 at the moment, because I lost 1 in the flood. But here is the power. Here. So we're going to plug that in here. Okay. And I'm not going to put the HDMI in. I'm just going to drop the switch in here and see if it charges. And see if it charges. Okay. So I'm not getting any charge indicator on that. So that is a little scary. I'm gonna say that is probably the ribbon cable. I'm gonna hope it's the ribbon cable. I'm gonna hope that all that is the ribbon cable is not seated properly. Because I really don't think I damaged anything. Like, I don't see any obvious signs of damage. I'm wearing anti-static protective gear. So I don't really think I damaged anything. It's probably just this ribbon cable isn't seated properly. Yeah, it's probably just the ribbon cable. Okay. I'm not gonna screw this back in, just in case I need to mess with some stuff some more. I'm just gonna pop this on here. And that way nothing's making contact with anything that it's not supposed to. I'm gonna plug the power back in. Like that. And hopefully... Yes! Okay, we have a charge indicator. We have a charge indicator. Okay, it was just the ribbon cable. All it was the ribbon cable, guys. I did not break anything. I mean, we haven't checked HDMI out yet, but I'm going to go ahead and put the screws back in. I'm going with the assumption that the ribbon cable was not seated properly, and that now it is, because I did get a charge indicator that time. So, it was probably just the ribbon cable not seated properly, which I figured that would happen as the ribbon cable kind of flexes around in there. Because this ribbon cable is really long for such a small enclosure. Alright, so the screws are back in. The screws are back in. Let me just plug this in again. See if we have charge indicator, which we should. If I drop this down in here. Yes, we do have a charge indicator. You can see there. So we are getting power. So now, let me grab an HDMI. I should have one here. Just pull this out of my dock, my other dock. Here we go. This is going to be kind of clumpy just because of the way I have my wiring. But here's my HDMI that goes to my capture card. So we'll go ahead, we'll plug that in there. Alright. Moment of truth. We'll pop this guy. Let's see. We'll run let's see. Or I guess we don't have to run any games. Just pop this guy in here. One thing about this setup is because it's not spring-loaded, it is noticeably different when you try to drop it in the dock, because you have to be careful not to break that connection. There we go. Okay, so the screen went off. So now the question is, if I do this, will it show up there? Let's see. Let me grab... Oh, nope, there it is. There it is. That is this. So it is working. If I pull this out, it's there. Pop it in. Pop it in. Give it a second. And there it is. Okay, so it does work. It does work. We did it. We officially did it without breaking anything. And now I have a portable dock that I can bring with me that's not nearly as big as the official one. So, if anybody wants to grab one of these, they're about $15. I ordered it on Amazon through Basstop. But the one that I got had a different company name on it, so I'm assuming they're the same company. It's just a subsidiary. But we did do it. It does work. Everything is still working fine. And there are some vents in the back here for cooling, so we're good. We are done. I can end the video now. So this video went on a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I thought at most this might take like 20 minutes, but it ended up taking 45. But there we go. So I now have a little portable dock for whenever I go places. And then I have, where is it? The dock that came with my Switch, which I have not taken apart, that will remain here for the recording setup. So you can see just how much smaller this is. Like, look at that. Look at that. Where's my camera? There it is. Like, it's just so much smaller. But anyway, there we go. So we're gonna end here. I need to put all my shit back the way it was and start getting ready for some live streams, because I plan to do 2 streams today. So the first stream today is going to be some Brawl Stars stuff. Second stream will be Splatoon 2. But that is pretty much it. So there we go. I built my own little portable dock. So I didn't use any instructions, and I managed to do it without breaking anything. When I first plugged the power in and then I saw I didn't have any charge indicator, I'm like, oh shit, I broke something. But no, it was just the ribbon cable. But anyway, that being said, thank you guys for watching. I will put like an actual tutorial in the description. I'll find one after I make this video. I'll find one from a reputable source and put it in the description for anybody who wants like an actual tutorial. This was just me filming this because I was gonna do this anyway, so I might as well make a video out of it. But yeah, we're gonna end here. So thank all you guys for watching. Let me know what you think. And yeah, I probably should have had people place bets on whether or not I would break anything. That would have been fun. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon with some Brawl Stars and Splatoon 2. Later, guys!